welcome. So we're going to start the lesson again with some technical exercises. We're going to do the C major scale again, so you can get some practice on that and play along with me. We're going to also look at the Group B chords. So basically, if you've got the Rock School debut book, remember this is the debut grade stuff, you want to be on page 34 and 35, where we're looking at, like I said, the scales and the chords. All right, so make sure, first of all, that your guitar is in tune. So before you even turn up, tune that guitar in, okay? Make sure it's sounding excellent before we even start. The C major scale we have looked at a few times now, so I'm going to run through it pretty quickly, just hopefully to jog your memory if you've forgotten that. Okay, so we start on the 3rd fret up here on the 5th string. And we're just going to use our 2nd finger for that, okay? So we're going to play that one there. That's a C note. And then we're going to go down to the 4th string, which is your 1st metal string. And we're going to play 3 notes on there, okay? We've got the open string, the 2nd fret, and the 3rd fret. So we have done this a few times. I know some of you know this. So just use this as a bit of a refresher before we move on to new things, okay? All right, so the first 4 notes, we've got C, D, E, and F. So we're going to play those first 4 notes forwards, and then we're going to play them backwards. So that's ascending and then descending. Okay, going up and then going down again. Okay, are you ready? You got your fingers on that guitar? We are on the 3rd fret on that 5th string to start. Remember, this is the debut level grade, okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to count you in with a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that note. We're going to go back again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2, 3, 4. Okay, they're the first 4 notes. Well done if you did that. That's fantastic. So we're going to look at the next 4 notes now as well, which again we've done before. So hopefully you will be using this just to remember stuff. All right. So the 3rd string, 1, 2, 3. That's your last plastic string on a classical style guitar. And we're going to play that with no fingers on it. Then the 2nd fret. And then we're going to go to the 2nd string, no fingers, and then the 1st fret. All right, let's just do that again. So the 3rd string, play along with me, okay? 3rd string, open. Then 2nd fret. 2nd string open. And then 1st fret. Okay, so we're going to play that ascending like this. And then we'll play it descending as well, like we did in the other one, the other group of 4. Okay? Okay, so get your fingers ready again. Remember, we start with the open string, 2nd fret, and then open string, 1st fret. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your finger there, because we're going to go back down again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the 2 groups we need. Okay, two groups of 4 notes. When we put them together, we create our 8-note scale. So I'll play it through all the way for you. It goes like this. And then descending. Okay. All right, so we're going to play all of it, all 8 notes. We're going to go all the way up and then all the way back down again as well. Okay. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we're going to come back down again. So get that finger ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, if you did that, you are doing an excellent job because it's not easy to do. Okay, now last time we're going to play it. This time we're going to call out the notes as we go. If you're not sure about this, don't worry. We'll just take our time and just keep practicing it during the week. So because it's a C major scale, that means our first note is a C and our last note is a C. And we're just using letters in the alphabet to count up. Okay. The only tricky bit is that when we get to a G, we have to go back to an A because that's all we can do in music. So it goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? Right, so we'll go really slowly and we'll try and shout out the notes as we go, okay? Right, so 1, 2, remember, okay, starting on a C. Make that really clear. Start on a C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. All right. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and C, D, E, F, G, then the A, B, C. And doing that backwards is quite tricky because you end up doing the alphabet backwards. Now, I bet even the parents out there will struggle doing the alphabet backwards. So I always like to do this because it's fun. When we finish, time your mum or dad or whoever you're with and see how quickly they can do the alphabet backwards from Z to A. Really, really hard. Really tricky, but good fun. Okay. That is the C major scale. That is the first scale on page 34. What we're going to do next is move on to some chords. So that's on page 35. So basically, a chord is just when we play 2 or more strings at the same time. That's how we're going to think of it, okay? Now with the scale, we're playing 1 string at a time, aren't we? Which means that we're only playing 1 note at a time. That's a C, that's a D, that's an E, and so on. When we're doing chords, we're playing notes together, more than 1 note. So for example, if I do this, I'm playing 5 strings together. That means I'm playing 5 notes there. Some of them actually repeat, but so for example, if I do a C chord, I'm playing a C, an E, a G, another C, and another E. Okay, so I'm playing all 5 strings at the same time. That's the difference between a chord and a note. A note is just 1, and a chord is basically 2 or more. Okay, so for example, did that. All right. So we are going to look at the first couple of chords, the first two chords on page 35. Now these can be a little bit tricky because we need to use lots of fingers together to make our sounds, okay? So we're going to start with the A chord. So just follow where I put my fingers and we'll see how we go, okay? Remember, you can chat, so you can type any message you'd like in there. So if you struggle on a part of it, feel free to make a comment there and just ask for help or ask me to go over anything again. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're going to use 3 fingers for this chord. We're going to use our first finger, and that's going to go on the 1, 2, 3, 4th string. That's your first metal string on a classical style guitar. All of our fingers squash together in the 2nd fret. So if you see that, you'll see that's just in the 2nd fret there. Okay. 2nd finger goes on the next string down, the 3rd string, underneath that 1st finger. Just like that. Both squished into that 2nd fret. Now here comes the hard bit, because we've got to get another finger in that same fret. Now our 3rd finger squishes in there. Now I'm using quite a small guitar here, so this is quite tough for me. But there we go. So we've now got 3 fingers all in that 2nd fret. And they're on the 4th string, the 3rd string, and then the 2nd string. We're going to play 5 strings for this one. So the only one we're not playing is the very top string here, the E string. All right, so we're going to do this. So have a go just strumming through and see how yours sounds. How is yours? Is it sounding okay? Does it sound like mine? Now, this is what I think you might have. Some of you will have this kind of sound going on. Okay? Now, this is chords usually by either not pressing down quite hard enough, all right, not being right on the fingertips. So if I just do that again, I put my fingers in front of the camera, you'll see the grooves on my fingertips there, look. And they're all right on the fingertips. So make sure you're using the very tips of those fingers. If you bend the fingers back like this, so you use this part of the finger instead, then what will happen is that they will touch the strings underneath them and stop them making a nice sound. So for example, if I do that now, and I use the wrong part of my finger, I can feel this bottom string hitting my finger here, and that's stopping it making a sound. So I have to come right up on my fingertips to get that sound. Okay? So have another go. Let's see how yours sounds. Again, feel free to make a comment, say if yours is sounding good or if you are struggling with that one. It's not easy. So the most important thing really now is that we just know the right place to put our fingers. Okay? If you want to check your strings, this is a really good idea. Just play through each string slowly. And then if one of them does this, then you can just move that finger around a little bit until you get it sounding good. Okay? All right, spend a minute just trying to get that to sound good. Again, like I said, move those fingers around a little bit. Check that you're right on your fingertips. That's what we're after. Also, remember, if any of this is tricky for you, remember it, because then when we have our Skype lesson, you can bring it up and we'll make sure that we talk about it and cover it and make sure that you're happy with it. Okay. All right. So that's our A major chord. We're going to move on to our D major chord, all right? Now this one's also quite tricky because it uses 3 fingers. Like I said, the most important thing here is just that you're remembering where to put the fingers. We can always work on getting the sound perfect later on. It takes a bit of time, so don't worry too much. So this was our A. So if you get your fingers back on that A. Okay, got it? Excellent. Now we're going to look at the D chord. So we're going to move that first finger, we're going to move that down 1 string. So that's now on the 3rd string. Then we add our second finger onto the bottom string there, look. So we've jumped over a string. So this one's on the 3rd string, and this one's on the 1st string. Again, both in the 2nd fret, look. Okay? Both in that 2nd fret. Right, now what we're going to do is use one more finger, which is our 3rd finger again, and this one needs to go onto the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So it looks like this. Okay, take your time, get your fingers in the places they need to be. Like I say, it's quite tricky moving all of your fingers around at the same time, isn't it? Okay, right. This should sound like this. We're playing 4 strings this time. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not playing the top 2 ones at all. We're starting on the 3rd string, which is our D string. All right. Let me know if you've got that, if your fingers are in the right places, or any of this is confusing, and we'll just check them again. Now again, you need to be right on your fingertips here, especially on the 2nd finger and the 3rd finger. If that 3rd finger goes onto the pad here, then it will block that bottom string. It will do this, look. So this is correct, right on the fingertip. But if I get this 3rd finger and I go on the pad, if I kind of move it down like that, then you can see it's going to block this bottom string again, isn't it? So if I play it now, okay, I can feel it. I can feel that string hitting the bottom of my finger there. I need to come up onto the tip of my finger again. Get that nice sound. Okay? All right. So what we need to do is practice changing between these 2 chords. Now I'm going to use my 1st finger to lead the way. This is going to be my guide. It's going to help me change. So when I go back to the A chord, I'm going to start by focusing on this 1st finger, and I'm going to make sure it goes up 1 string. And then I can just tuck my other 2 fingers in underneath it. Have a go at doing that. So again, if I'm on a D chord, I move this 1st finger, that's my focus. I move that up 1 string, and then I can tuck my others underneath it. Remember everything in the 2nd fret there. Don't let this 3rd finger sneak over. Okay, I've got that again. That's my A chord again. So you have a go at that. Are you ready? Let's form our D chord and we'll do it together, all right? So D chord, which is 2nd fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, bottom string, and 3rd fret here, 2nd string. Quite a tricky one, so I'll give you a couple of seconds to get your fingers in place there. Okay, all right. So from here, we're going to change to the A. Now remember, 1st finger is your guide. So we're going to move up and then tuck the others in. All right. So if your fingers hurt, don't worry, nearly there. Give your hand a little shake. All right. If your hand gets stiff or hurts at any point, just give it a little bit of a shake. All right. You don't want your hands getting stiff or starting to hurt. So fine, just have a little break, wiggle our hands around a little bit. Okay. So give it a little bit of a shake. That helps. Okay. Okay, let's go back. Let's get that D chord again. So third string, second fret, your last plastic string, bottom string, and then third finger on that third fret. Again, I'll give you a few seconds to get your fingers there. All right. Very quiet out there today. No chats at all. So hopefully that means you're all following along well and finding this easy. That'd be fantastic. Okay, so do that D chord again. I'm going to play it and I'm going to move up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and play. And then we're going to move that first finger up. Up it goes. Tuck the others underneath. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and play. All right. Now when we change back to the D chord, we do the same thing. We lead with that first finger. So we're just going to move our finger down here and then add the other two. Okay, so once more. From that A here, we're going to move down and add the other two fingers. So first finger is your guide, remember. All right, let's go back to that A and then we'll practice and move down to that D. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and A. Now we're going to move our fingers. So first finger leads, down it goes. Add the other two. 1, 2, 3, 4, and D. All right, now we're going to go back again. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and ready? A. And then back to the D again. Again, I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and ready? D. So these are quite tricky. A great way to practice them is just by doing that. Remember that the first finger will lead. That will help you remember how to get to the correct position every time. And a great way to practice them is, as we just did then, count to 4 between your chords. The good thing about that is you can count slowly or you can count quickly. Okay, so start nice and slow, and then if you're starting to find it easy, you can count faster. So let's show you what I mean. So if I start on the A, I can play it, count to 4, and then play the D. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and so on. And then if I find it easy, I can just speed up, can't I? I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay? But remember, there's no rush. Speed is never the aim. All right? We're never doing things just for speed. We're doing things because they have to be perfect. They have to be accurate. So the most important thing is that it sounds right. It doesn't matter how fast you're changing at the moment. Okay? All right. We've got a few minutes. So you need to practice those chords, practice the scale. As I said, they're in the book, page 34, 35. If you're unsure of the book at all, that's the book, okay? Rock School Acoustic debut grade. Make sure you get the acoustic one, not the electric, because they are different songs. And Ain't No Sunshine is the one we've been doing. So what we're going to do with this one, this is on page 12 and 13. So Ain't No Sunshine, we've kind of covered this a bit as well, and this first part, people have been doing really well. I've heard quite a few people play that fantastically. So we're not going to spend any time on that, apart from just to say, remember how you count it, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're playing on the 1 and then the 3, aren't we? And that's important in a minute as well. So let's just check out these other bits we've got, which is the E minor and then the D. So we were practicing that D chord earlier, so if you notice, that again is the D chord with the first finger on the second fret there, and the third finger on the third fret. Okay. All I'm doing is I'm just being a little bit cheaty, so I'm not bothering to put my second finger down here. That's just because we don't need it in this song, so it's easier just to do that. Okay. But again, when we're coming from that E minor here, all I need to do is drop that finger down one string and then add the third finger. So we're using that first finger as a guide again, just like we were a minute ago. Right, so let's just do that bit together. So remember, this is on the 4th string, 2nd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, your first metal string on a kind of classical guitar. Now, when we count these, this is important because these are now in quavers, which means we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we've got the ands in there as well, right? So the E minor goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So playing 1 and 2 and. If you watch the right hand when I'm playing, I'm using a pick. All I'm doing is running down through the strings. I'm not picking each one and moving away from the guitar and back again. Just slowly push through the strings. Okay, so practice that slowly, where the pick just rests on the next string down, look. Rests on that string, see, and pushes through. Rests on the string, and pushes through. Right, it's much easier with a bit of practice than trying to do this. All right, let's play this first E minor bar together. So 1 and 2 and is what we're playing. So finger there, ready? On the 2nd fret, 4th string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then it's the D, isn't it? So we're going to move that finger down as our guide and then add the third finger there for our D. Now this one only has 3 notes, so we just have to play 1 and 2 and 3. So we're playing the 4th string, the 3rd, and the 2nd. Let's just do that together. Are you ready? Got that D shape? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The counting is really important in this bit, okay? So we're going to go back to the E minor, play that, and then the D as well. So as soon as you finish playing that E minor one on the 2 and, 1 and 2 and, start changing. Okay? Don't wait until 4, start changing as soon as you finish playing that. Here we go, on the E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's that bit done. That's bar 6 and 7 in your book, by the way. Let's do it one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and. All right. Again, if you're playing that, you're doing a great job. Remember, it's really important to get the counting right. and really important to get the kind of picking action. The last little bit in the song is when it goes just playing the same rhythm that we started with this part. Okay, so we're playing on the 1 and 3, aren't we? We've got the A minor chord, which we've done before. That's the, remember the easy C? We've all done that one, I believe. So the easy C, that is just the first fret on the second string. Then we're going to jump a string, put that on the 4th one, the first metal string there, okay? 2nd fret, and then we just tuck that underneath. So that goes on your last plastic string. So it's 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, okay? So we're going to play the first 3 strings, then the 4th string. Let's just get that to start with. So that's going to be on 1, and then that's going to be on 3. All right, let's get that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, then for 4, we're going to lift our fingers off here. I'm going to keep my first one on. I'm going to lift these 2 and play the 3rd string. Then I have to put them back down and play the same thing I started with, these last 3 strings. Okay, so we go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So did you see me lift that up there on that count of 4? So we're going to play it again. Are you ready? Try and join in. Let's see what happens, okay? We've only got a very short time left, so this is a refresher. You've all looked at this anyway, but as I said earlier, if there's anything you're unsure of, make sure you just think about it, make a note of it maybe, and then when it comes to the Skype lesson, we can identify that and focus on that so everything is perfect and you're happy with everything, okay? All right, so the A minor chord, we're going to play after 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. So remember to lift off on the 4 and then back down again for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's it. We're going to finish. Thank you for coming along. I'm sure all of your fingers are nice and sore now because you've done lots and lots of work there. So try and practice through those things. We've got the C major scale, which you should be quite comfortable with now. The 2 chords that we did, which were the A major and the D chord, and then obviously the song Ain't No Sunshine. And the good thing about that is it still uses some of the chords that we've been doing, so the D chord, for example. All right. Okay, take care, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.